Hey yo. 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 All right, for a minute there I thought we lost it. Whoa. Hey yo.
CG.
As a channel member, we want to have stuff for you guys. What we plan to do, of course, have those emojis, a bonk emoji. Yeah. We want to do comic strips for you guys to kind of keep our characters and comics out there, keep the creative blood flowing, and just little strips, maybe monthly.
Develop notifications, sub if you haven't. We're trying to make the best content we can out here and do something more like a podcast.
Let's get out of here. I've had enough of this.
Ooh, what a rush!
Fill it in a few different times just to kind of get a real deep color. And then kind of go in here at the bottom.
Who are those guys?
Your brothers? No.
Yes!
Get him to get on my nerves. Who are those guys?
I couldn't do that. Could you do that? How can they do that? Who are those guys?
The fucking Diaz brothers!
It's the Diaz Brothers Show, live from Studio Z out in Brookfield, Illinois, at the Galloping Ghost Production Center. Phil and Brandon are back. It is 6:30 Central Time. Do you know where your comics are at? Right here on the Diaz Brothers Show. Give them a round of applause. Here they are, the Diaz Brothers. Hey, what is up?
What is that?
Is there a little motion blur here? Look at that. Interesting. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. It's that time again. Can you guys hear us? You let us know. How do we sound? Because we haven't been at this station for a while.
Yeah, why? What happened?
Well, we took off last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were here the week before because I went to Cincinnati. But how do we sound?
Am I coming in clear? Hey, Mom, I said, am I coming in clear?
Peak 2001 camera technology. That's how we do it over here.
Yeah, why is it so laggy?
We want to give the nostalgia. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
How is the words coming out of my mouth connecting to the visual of my mouth? I'm not. Look at that. We're so blurry. Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope everybody had a great week. It is the start of the weekend. Tell your friends that we are live. We're going to be hanging out here for until 8 our time. Audio is fine. Thank you, Citizen Ronan. Great to see you. Let's say hi to the people in the chat. Zombie Boy is here. How is Cincinnati? Cincinnati was awesome.
Got to hang out with Camara. Got to hang out with Joe Ball and his wife. We saw Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson at Jack Ruby's, which is a weird name for a restaurant, considering named after a murderer.
Well, some people think that he's an American hero.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, for having killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, I at first thought it was Paul Rubens we were going to, and I was really excited.
But he's dead now.
But he's dead, yeah. Rip in the chat for the late, great Paul Rubens. I thought I had a thing here. Here he is.
Good screaming, everybody.
Yep.
I
didn't even know he was sick.
Yeah, I didn't. Chad is here. Chad Townsend, good to see you. Looks like old internet streaming. That's what the nostalgia. We're going for the 1980s, guys.
Yeah.
Henry Bemis. Thinking of Henry Winkler. Henry Bemis in the chat. Good to see you. Dale A. Scrolling up. Bear is here. What's up? Yes, spared no expense for sure. Corey Barton is in the house. Corey in the house. Remember that one?
I remember the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Noah is here. Atherline is back. What's up? Citizen Ronan, of course. David Springer. Where's Vaughn?
He's probably drowned. Isn't he from New York? Did you see they're like...
He had a flood.
It's like the first level of Day After Tomorrow over there where it floods, and then tomorrow it's going to be completely frozen.
Yeah, it's the Great Flood is happening in New York City.
Again.
So Rip Vaughn. Reese is in the chat. Good to see you, Reese. Scrolling up here. Rand Nada, as always. Sumo Thori. What's up? Jay Ryan. What's up? Always great to have these chatters in here. Scrolling all the way up. Don't want to miss anybody here. Tech Zombie. What's up? Good to see you, Tech Zombie. And Bobby. Bobby, good to see you, brother. Thanks for everybody for being in the chat. This is the Diaz Brothers Show. We're going to talk about a couple different things today. It's a topic I wanted to pick your brain on, Brandon. And yeah, other than that, anything going on? Anything you wanted to bring up?
No notable deaths this week, or at least anybody that really mattered. As far as I could
there was a death, I think, from last week we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
the death of the week.
Yeah, this week, nobody that mattered.
No notable deaths. Here's a thing. On Monday, you talked about you were being interviewed by Ryan Glover.
Ryan Glover, yeah. There was almost like a conspiracy thing going on. I told you about it.
Yeah.
You remember that? It was weird. So I got followed. I got followed by no. So starting from the beginning, Ryan Glover, who doesn't follow me, messages me on Twitter asking if I wanted to do a Zoom call interview about my art and stuff. So set that up. And that was for today at 4 p.m., which we just did. We'll talk about that. But then a couple of days later, I get followed by a fake account, or presumably a fake account from, I don't know, September or something that was made very, very recently.
Right.
And it only had one post, and it was a girl's name, no profile picture. And the one post said, Ryan has been successfully enacted. And then somebody underneath that said, Lorraine, what does this mean? And then I connected it, and I was like, okay, Ryan is some sort of like sleeper agent.
MK Ultra, yeah.
Yeah. And then, this whole thing is a gloaty Fed boy op against me. I'm going to go on this Zoom call, and they're going to try and corner me, but I'm going to be ready.
Yeah. Now this, I mean, you could believe this because since Elon has taken over, there hasn't been a decrease in hot bots on Twitter.
Yeah. All of my follower count is all hot bots.
Right, 100% hot bots.
It's 100% hot bots. So if you're following me, sad to say, you're a hot bot.
Yeah. You probably don't even know it.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about being a hot bot is you don't realize it.
Right. Yeah, I was watching this thing, the sidetrack here. It was about storytelling and how the hardest hitting horrors are deception. and the worst kind is self-deception.
Yeah, right.
So you guys don't even know it yet.
Right. When you find out that you're a hot
bot
and you don't even know, you haven't known, you've been just existing for years.
It's freaky.
And that you're a normal Twitter user.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how'd the Ryan? So does this guy? Did you ask him if he's related to Donald Glover?
No, I didn't.
What about Danny Glover?
No, I also did not.
Okay.
He seemed to. Okay, so we go on the Zoom call. We were going to do it in here, but the computer was having problems.
Yeah.
So we did it in the office, and he was all set up, but it was very much like not real fancy. Like he's just sitting like in his living room or whatever.
Yeah.
It was almost like an Adam Post interview.
Oh yeah, you guys remember Adam Post
on the sofa?
Yeah,
right?
the postman.
The camera's like up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's on a laptop, so it's tilted up, so you get that up shot on the.
And then so he's just asking me questions about. I mean, he probably asked me 3 questions, and I probably talked for 45 minutes.
All right.
And then so, and it was on the level. It was, hey, you're an artist. You're the artist behind Zaid Comics. And then so I told him about you know, how we founded Zaid Comics and stuff. And then,
did you ask him how he found you?
No, because hold on, I'll get to this.
Okay.
Also. So as soon as I went in there, I was like, hey man, I'm sorry about that whole screw up because I was like 10 minutes late. The computer in the studio was messed up, so I jumped onto the office. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start recording now. And then he started recording.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he went into the thing. So I was talking about that, and I was talking about Magic Cop and give a little synopsis and kind of the backstory about how it was a video game and everything. And then he asked about like my inspirations and stuff. So I told him, you know, about all that. And then told him about the pinup art. And then he knows about Exotica, the convention. And so we talked about that a little bit. And then he asked like how I feel about hot girls dressing up in like hot girl costumes at Comic-Con.
All right.
And I was like, I ain't even mad.
Yeah.
And then
I can dig it.
And then so he was like, all right, well, thanks for coming on. You want to say anything or shout at anybody? So I told him about the arcade, and then I told him about you know, our Zaid Comics and everything to follow us. He's like, all right, it was a great show, thanks. And then he just left.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was it. Like the recording ended, and he just left. But it is on Instagram apparently. If you go to my page, I'm tagged in it, so it's in my tags. If you do want to watch that,
You put it up on
it's
Instagram?
already up on Instagram. Yeah.
Was it Instagram live?
No, it was not live. It was
okay.
being recorded.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was very.
Is it like an over and under shot?
No, it's next to each other, which is
just
even
like
worse for Instagram.
tiny.
Yeah,
It's just very small on your phone.
Stamps.
Well, there you go, everybody. Shout outs to Ryan Glover.
Yeah, so I didn't get to
For
ask
reviewing
him
this
any
guy.
questions at all regarding anything, and he doesn't follow me on Instagram or Twitter. So I don't know what's up with that.
Interesting. We do have some super chats from our boy Bobby. Bobby says for $2, what's with the early 2000s music video motion blur?
Well, we were going to do a segment of the stream where we get real close to the camera and then we point to our own heads and we point to you, the viewer, you know,
Yeah.
and do like that thing where we're like above the camera.
Can't
and the motion blur was
stand
gonna,
Yeah.
you know, be part of the whole thing.
Like
but
a Beastie
we had
Boys
to cut
thing.
that because there's so much to talk about.
That's right.
Including this Ryan Glover interview.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Hope that answered your question, Bobby. And here's your bonk. Here you go. Yeah, the angle, he had the angle where you could almost see his brain. That's right. Cicerone says, my inspiration is ass.
We didn't get to talk about the inspirations on that. He did ask me how I felt about like professional comic book artists drawing sexy girls.
Yeah.
And then like if there's a stigma behind it. And I was like, comic book artists have been doing that forever. Like look at Frank Frazetta, right? Frank Frazetta is amazing and he's got some amazing stuff out there. And then the thing that he draws the most are like these savage land loincloth women.
Right. And him too, he got started doing is it Penthouse or Playboy comics?
Oh yeah.
When he was really young. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's living the dream.
Let's see. Wait, so those chicks following me on X aren't real?
Yeah.
Hate to tell you. It sounds like
They
a
probably think
tragic
they're real.
situation. Bobby again with a $2 super chat. H cups in the U.S. Constitution inspire me every day. That is
Right.
that's true, brother.
This is the United States.
Real patriot right there.
You called?
Keep the horny to a minimum here tonight, guys. We got Joe Catapano in the chat. Good to see you, Joe. He's been doing some cool kick-ass fan art recently. Awesome Gambit. I saw him draw recently as well. Never trust a big butt in a smile. Is that true?
She got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it.
That's an indication that the girl is poisoned.
Oh, is that?
You're right.
That's true. Bobby, change your picture, please.
What is it?
What is Bobby's picture? I thought of Bobby's picture. It's the same picture he's always had.
Always been the same picture.
He's a patriot. That's him. Showing off his guns. Kamara, big fan of Heat. Didn't know that. Dude, Chad Townsend worked on the Courage the Cowardly Dog meets the Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. The only part that I felt that was unnecessary was and I'm sure this is the only part that Chad
worked on, yeah.
Yeah. It was probably was that Eustace straight out of nowhere music rap sequence that made no sense whatsoever.
That sounds horrible.
It was really bad. The rest of it though was fantastic.
Yeah, Brandon's
I
a
liked
huge
that
Courage
it was Courage the Cowardly Dog centric. It was like in the Courage the Cowardly Dog world and not in the Scooby-Doo
right, because
world.
let's be serious here. Scooby-Doo sucks.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo is like the
overrated.
Beatles, guys.
It's overrated.
Scooby-Doo's overrated like the Beatles.
Yeah.
I said it.
Like the idea of Scooby-Doo has been built up so much that it's better than actually what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I like that horror take though on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Great. That was some
But
nice stuff.
that's awesome to hear that you worked on that because that was great to see because it's kind of like that old friend. You've seen your old friend again.
Mhm.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. One of my favorite shows.
It's a good one. Jeremy Burtz is in the chat. Good to see you, Jeremy. He's a Munster is here too. Awesome to have you in the chat here. Brother, hit the like button if you guys have not already. Today, I wanted to talk about intellectual properties, Brandon.
Colloquially known as IPs.
IPs.
Yes.
And is there an IP? Is it possible to have an IP overload from a company? That's what I wanted to talk about. We might do a poll in the chat too, specifically talking about like crowdfunding and releasing different IPs before a story is wrapped up. I was talking to my buddy Mr. Biggins, and he was talking about how like people should wrap up their IPs or story arcs before they launch a new IP. And what do you think about that?
Well, I think that there's a lot of times where people want to create a universe and then they do that one book and then they go on to another universe with that, like the first story of that other universe. And then they just keep doing that, right? And you never get back to that first thing. And I think that's one of the failings of crowdfunding communities is that you have people that are so enthusiastic about creating these stories and stuff, like us, right? We have so many ideas for so many storylines and universes and things like that, and we can't produce them fast enough. That's a problem. Whereas like if you were a large company, you'd have multiple departments working on different projects and you could kind of parallel put them all out at the same time. I like the idea of there being more storylines out there because not everybody's going to buy into the Lost Pages, right? Or not everybody's going to buy into Magic Cop or something.
Right.
And, you have that option. that you could go toward. But I've seen so many times where you have a creator and you're like, yo, I want that first. Where's the more stories from that first thing again? You know,
Right.
I don't really care about this second thing or this third thing.
Yeah, I feel like you can run into a problem like that. Like something we did with the Lost Pages when we did the Myths of the Lost Pages, which introduced more characters, even though they were short 4-page stories. We had some people that are like, oh, I really loved Drift Legend or The Pianist. When are we going to get more of that character?
Right.
And then as a creator, it's the most daunting thing as a creator is like the decisions of, are we going to do this now or later? And who are we going to get to draw this? And if we have to switch artists and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of facets to it. Chad's saying that do short stories like Hellboy and get all of your characters out. You know, we did that with Lost Pages, the first one.
Yeah. In fact, that's a great example because I really kind of took that Hellboy format to heart with the stuff we were doing with the Lost Pages, where they're short, self-contained stories that do introduce characters and could be read as a one-shot, but has an overarching arc to it. Like I love that Mignola's format of doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's rough. And then crowdfunding has the stigma of, you know, people not shipping or taking forever to ship. And then so, you know, if somebody even like ourselves, you know, ships well, is the community going to support us having multiple campaigns out at the same time, waiting for them to ship, you know?
Right. That's the risk. And that's something I know you've really wanted to get into. And I've kind of been standoffish on, even though a lot of people do it, where it's having a crowdfunding campaign open or even in demand and launching a second one that's a different IP or story, just for the fact to get things out quicker. Because we could, if we have the money, be in production on multiple books that
easily,
from different universes or whatever, or just different stories. That's not the problem, but it's like the risk of or the backer is going to be like, oh, I'm waiting for this one, you know, do I want to jump on this new one? So like that is kind of off-putting, but I'd love to hear what you guys in the chat think about this as well.
It's all about, you know, the customers and the fans and stuff, what they're gonna be cool with, because it is such a customer driven market, right? Because of the crowdfunding style.
Let me see here. Maromi's in the chat. Good to see you, Maromi. To have you in here. Old Dirty Fatty says some creators don't like to embrace the grind and just want to do the next big thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you might be saying is kind of like that like dopamine hit of getting onto that next project, right? Because there's diminishing returns. I mean, there could be, if you're that kind of person, there'd be diminishing returns of the dopamine hit for every subsequent episode or issue that you put out of that same storyline, right? Because now people are already familiar with the character. There's no new, hey, this is what I was thinking when I created them and stuff like that.
And I think as a creator too, sometimes you could feel that where it's like, oh, I got this new idea,
right?
And I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
And
I think we've all felt that
before. Definitely. So that's probably what you're talking about. I agree with that. And that's where I think it's important to be able to have self-control so that you can stay the course on a good IP story arc, because most of the time I feel like that's what people who are reading these stories want. You know, like, I mean, it's the same thing with your cartoons or whatever, right? It's like, man, I can't wait for that next season. Oh, Matt Groening came out with another Disenchantment. Who the hell cares? It's like, I don't want to watch that. I want some more Futurama or whatever.
Yeah. I think too, if you are going to launch multiple IPs, make sure the stuff you're putting out doesn't have like a definitive cliffhanger on it, right? make sure once the reader gets that book and they finish reading it, there's satisfaction at the end of it. So if there is another IP that they want to jump onto, they aren't super long and being like, what's going to happen on the first page of the next issue? Yeah, unless you could get them out as fast as possible. That's like for Magic Cop, we wanted those books to be able to be self-contained read. They're 92 pages, 4 issues of content basically in each Magic Cop book, and it ends like a episode of a crime show.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not a cliffhanger thing. I think that really helps if you're going to have something else like we do with these 2 IPs. Baz says, in my opinion, Zach is guilty of this and Narwhal 2 with the kind of IP overload. Let's see, scrolling down here.
But they're selling, so it's hard to fight them on it.
That's true.
Use them as a bad example. I mean, use them as an example, but it's hard to like say that they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, Zach has the the backing to hire guys like Chuck Dixon to do kind of the heavy lifting writing on stuff, working with other writers, paying artists that could work on multiple things at once. So he has the means to do that as well. Let's see, scrolling down here, people are saying, Joe Catapano in the chat, I don't think I have the brain space to create more than one IP at a time. So I have to bat down those crazy new ideas. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like different creators work differently like that. And I think creator artists or writer artists are more like one IP because they have to put the work in as well as the artist, So people like Joe, like what Irene's doing with Fiendish, the Death Joe Ball, like they're just grinding on this single thing because it does take so much more, manpower and hours from themselves to put it in there, and they don't really have the time to work on other stuff like that. Guys like us, like Narwhal, like your boy Zach, you have multiple ideas.
A lot of dogs in the fire.
Lots of dogs in the fire for sure. And but choosing what to put out when and what to work on is kind of you need to have that organizational skills to focus in on these things. Lieutenant Hughes with a super chat, $2 says, well, if it isn't the Diaz brothers. Hail. What's up, Mr. LT Hughes? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. We have almost 50 people in the chat, guys. Thank you for being here. And of course, you get a big old bonk for that super chat, brother. Thank you. That would be hilarious. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jay Ryan in the chat says there is excitement when starting a new project for real. Yeah, and that's kind of a thing too, where it's like hard to gauge the audience's excitement for it, and that's what makes me kind of trepidatious from launching more than one IP or changing course, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, on that thing, it's like you have to watch yourself and do what's best for the storylines, or if you're trying to build a company and stuff. Jocko is always talking about how that dopamine drive, you're trying to chase it. So it's like, don't tell somebody that you're going to the gym. Don't tell somebody that you're going to start a project, because when they go, oh yeah, that's cool, you get that dopamine hit already, and then you don't go to the gym or you don't start that project, and then that you get that already. So like you start that next IP and it's like, yeah, I'm going to do this new IP, man, and it's going to be awesome. And then that other storyline is going to falter, and if people want that other storyline, I mean, you could gauge it yourself. Hey, maybe that first storyline isn't selling. Maybe it is time to change it up or something like that. Yeah. If you have a hot IP, you got to weigh those things.
Yeah. The crowdfunding, and especially what helped us too is when we fulfilled Cash Grab, like that gave us a good amount of like side funds to start some future books down the line, which is we're really excited about. But just gauging when to put that out there and when to launch that. But I think it's cool having something to work on the side and maybe getting it, pretty completed before even talking about it. I'm excited about that. What are you reading?
Al Comic says, interchange IP with girlfriend, and it's almost the same conversation. You get that new girlfriend, man, at dopamine high, you might want to invest that. But there is diminishing returns, right?
Some would say. Citizen Rowan said, if you have a good track record on delivery, I don't mind if you have a couple things going on, but if you have something late and you put something else out, nope. Yeah, but we've seen that from some creators, and that's kind of the thing where it's like that could be that self-sabotaging trap, that you get in with stuff like this.
It depends on what level you're at, because if you're, pulling from a huge customer pool, it's gonna float anyway, that second IP. But it's just something that you have to watch out for. I appreciate, that's the way it should be. Like Citizen Rowan saying that, hey, if your track record is good, you could have as many IPs out as you want because you're going to ship them on time.
Right.
As long as they're going to
if you have
end up in the hands of the backers, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that would be the ideal thing where it's like get big enough to hire other writers and artists to work on side stories of established IPs that we have, to put things out, regularly.
Right.
That would be.
That's always that thing too, though, just as like a side conversation of, like in the video game industry, you get these people who want to make video games, and then you go to work for a video game company, and they think they're like, oh, I'm going to make this game I've been dreaming about for years. Like, yo, you just got in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing I imagine when you're trying to hire a writer. They're going to want to come in and do their story about, whatever. And you're going to have to be like, no, I need you to write this side mission for this other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it works like that sometimes. Like I'm actually, which I'm super excited about, there's a project that we're involved in that's going to be a crossover between one of our IPs and someone else's. And it's a 60-page story. And I can't wait for people to hear about it. But I wrote it like 5 months ago, and we've just been waiting to hear from the artists and stuff. Just got it on track.
Now all the meme jokes inside meme jokes are all outdated. You gotta go back.
Yeah, I gotta revamp all the jokes I put in the script. And then also I've recently gotten hired to write something that's nothing of ours. It's someone else's completely own IP. Sure. And that's totally different, that headspace, because it's a whole world that me as a writer have to learn. Yeah. And the owner of that has to sign off on and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a total,
especially when it's something that's there's not a ton of information out there. Like if you want to go write Lobo, right? Mm-hmm. There's already a bunch of stuff. You could research it. How this guy's supposed to act because you got all this back material. Mm-hmm. If you're coming into something that's relatively new, there's only 2 books out. It's like, well, how would this guy react to this situation?
Right.
And is the original IP creator going to be cool with how I'm having him react to that situation?
Yeah, well, that's how it was when Mark and John hired me to do the Graveyard Shift story. A lot of that Brahm character was not fleshed out. So that was kind of like the best of both worlds, where they had some stuff that I could ingest and put into the character. And then a lot of that I was able to mold and stuff, which was really cool. That was really fun.
Daly says, sometimes an IP is only meant for one book or a short series. Yeah, that's true. That's completely valid.
Yes.
I think that's something that you would hash out already. Like the customers or the readers and the fans would already know, like, hey, this was a one-off, and that's just the end of it. And now we're moving on to another thing. But that is a different situation than kind of trying to float 10 IPs at once or 5 IPs at once, and everybody, like if you're putting out at a rate of 1 book a year or 1.5 books a year, you know, if you come around to that 5th IP, finally, how many years is it? You know, it's already 8 years later.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's another thing where it's like the time constraints and how long it takes to produce this stuff. And
hey, you only have in
really
life about 10 8-year cycles.
Yeah.
So how many issues are you going to be able to put these out? And you've already used up, you know, a number of them, being 30 already.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all over.
God. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the balance of streaming and working on comics and writing stuff. It's like I would love to. It's like you talk to a guy like Adam Lawson, who's working on so many things at once. He's shooting commercials, writing, you know, 5 different. No, he's not shooting anyone else. But I, you know, loved talking to guys like that because the balance of time management, of how are you writing these things? Are you bouncing from script to script? And I think I asked him this one time. He says when he starts writing something, that's the only thing he works on until he's finished with it, which is an interesting way, you know, rather than bouncing from one place to another.
Sure.
I find myself at times, you know, like when I was growing up and having fads, you know, being like, oh, I really love this, I'm going to work on this.
Definitely. It has to be interesting as a writer for a creative outlet, because if I'm feeling something else, I could just go draw that other thing and it's done and it's out of the system. You have to write it. And then what do you do with it, right? You're just
you just sit on it,
right? You sit on it, or you just throw it out for free.
Yeah,
you know, like my thing, I'll just post it, and then it's out there,
you
know, and it gets its gratuitous 5 likes. But you know, it's out there. What do you do with that story? And then if people really like it, well, now you have to go and attack that story some more. You know, so that's weird. It's got to be really different for a writer.
Yeah, like I would love to talk to writers that have worked for the big 2 or done creator-owned stuff at like Image or something like that, because or even novelists, like you saying, like if they finish a book, do they sit on it and go to the next thing and just wait until they find the right artist for that first book? Or are they like, oh, I have an idea for this book, I'm going to start working on it, I have to find an artist first and know who they're going to be while I'm writing this thing? Be interesting to just talk. Like, I think that subject would really give me some insight on that.
You have some just kind of like, oh, it'd be cool, this scenario or whatever. And then like I draw stuff and never post it because it's just like, oh yeah, I got that thing out and then it's there and it's just in the portfolio, but it's out of the system, right? Like you want to write some Victorian era whatever, right? And then what do you do with it, but like how deep into it do you go then? Like, where's that part that satisfies the itch to get into that story or that, you know, theme?
Yeah. It's got to be different for everybody. All right, let's see what some more of these people are saying. Lieutenant Hughes says y'all should make a Shiba Inu book with the Bonk as his or her special attack.
We have a Doge
character.
It's not a centric universe, but there is a Doge element to a parody universe.
Yeah, like a meme universe, if you will.
Yeah, it's a meme universe.
A meme society.
Yeah. And
which we don't have time to do as well.
I mean, if I was good at drawing.
Well, we got to get Eddie Winkler. He's got his own Zaid Comics sect of stories that he wants. Yeah. Next to a filing cabinet somewhere back here.
Like, there's this story, like, we'll talk about this, right? There's this meme storyline, parody meme storyline that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I love the idea, and the characters are created, and it's a lot of already fleshed out universe, right? But I'm not a writer. And so, like, I could think of these funny scenarios or like, hey, I want this to be like this. But I have a really hard time putting down a cohesive storyline on a page with dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm currently warming up on sequentials so that I could draw Magic Cop 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy to go with no script to just, I have an idea of a scenario that I want, right? That's going to fit into like a little goofy Magic Cop thing. But for me, it's very difficult to lay that stuff down without there already being a script.
Yeah.
You know, and I know some people can do it, you know, they're savants and whatever, but that's what's holding that back because I'm not currently drawing that. I could probably use that to warm up to Magic Cop,
you
know, the parody story. But that's that thing where it's like, all right, well, now we need another writer who's willing to write this and, you know, invest the time into something that, you know, maybe they're not super into or whatever.
Because my Magic Cop scripts, and most of my scripts are pretty full script, you know, telling you what happens in each panel, right? Is that how I did Magic Cop 2 as well? I don't even remember. I think I'm pretty sure. Because only recently, actually, for this new book that I'm writing for someone, the artist asked me to do a loose script, like a Marvel method, which is kind of my own like first time actually going in and writing something that's going to be made Marvel method. So I started as loose as I felt comfortable writing each page and shot it over to him like, hey, let me know if this is loose enough or he wants it looser. I don't know. So that's going to be kind of even though it should go quicker in theory, Marvel method scripting, which is basically an outline of a page or a description with no breakdowns and panels, and that's left up to the artist, and then the dialogue is added afterwards. So that's going to be interesting to see how fast that goes and how it's interpreted too. So I'm excited about that. But I might need to do that for something like Magic Cop and see how that goes. Something more looser because it would go quicker. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it could work. I'll have to test it out.
Any questions you've seen so far?
No, I was looking at this other thing.
Baz says CG needs a big crossover. That swimsuit book was a good start. That would be difficult, but I think it would be cool. I don't know. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see that because it's a lot of different people. Involved,
right. There's a lot of different people. There's logistical issues with that, as well as I don't know, people just being weird. I don't know. So it's just an unusual thing. I mean, it's hard because I don't know. People want the notoriety, and then it's just weird.
Well, here's one guy that's trying to do something similar to that, which I'm really excited for. Is Adam Miller. If you guys seen this, he's doing his what's he calling it? The trading card thing he's doing, Master Series of the CG trading cards.
Yeah,
which is cool. So he contacted all of us. I don't know, a bunch of people, creators, and I got contracts with them saying that he could draw a piece for their character, which we in turn could use as like a poster or something, but not a trading card. And then he's gonna be making these into trading cards. I think this is U.S. Assassin. He did a Magic Cop one, which is from us, and a bunch of really, really cool characters. And so that's going to be like his version of a big collab with everybody.
This works just like CG Vacation works, right? But like, imagine if you were going to put a bunch of people's characters into a single story, and then who's going to write it, right? And who's going to draw it, and what characters are going to lose or look like diminutive characters, you know, right? There's so many problems with that, and so many people's egos.
Yeah, I don't want my character's head to get cut off.
Right.
Well, we see that all the time. Like in Mortal Kombat 9, when they had Kratos as a guest character, you couldn't do half the fatalities to him because Sony didn't want him to get his head blown off or whatever.
MK versus DC was the exact same thing. You couldn't
Yeah.
do fatalities or something, or the DC superheroes couldn't do fatalities because they don't kill people
Right.
or something stupid.
Yeah. So
It's always going to be that burger with the pulled pork on top of it with the slice of brisket. All three of those things are delicious.
Yeah.
When you put them all together, they all
Might not
don't
work.
taste as good together.
That could be it. Citizen Ronan says the lack of time management is a huge hurdle to getting anything creative done. Yeah, that's the truth.
I mean, we also have jobs, like a lot of the creators that are just pumping stuff out or just drawing like crazy or whatever. That's their job.
Or YouTube and stuff like that.
Right.
People are able to turn that into a job as well as crowdfunding, which is awesome. But yeah, a lot of
at least 8 hours of our day, at least 5 days a week is here at the office.
Yeah, that's reality. Lieutenant Hughes with another super chat says, off topic, what's y'all's favorite food and drink? Would you say purple drink?
I haven't had a purple drink.
Purple
in a long
drink?
time.
Yeah. Favorite food?
What's your favorite food?
I don't know. It's hard. It used to be breaded pork chops.
Yeah,
From the
breaded pork
house.
chops used to be favorite food for sure.
Real good.
They're very, very good.
Very good. Mother's breaded pork chops. But I don't know. I like sushi. Dude, that Shanghai lobster was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's real
But is
good.
it like a favorite thing where you're like,
I only had it once.
So what is a favorite
I don't know.
food? Is it where like you get it once a year and it's so special? Or is it like your favorite food and you eat it every day like me, where it's just, I'm going to eat this steak because it's
it's got to
good.
be, it can't be a eat it every day thing. A Hawaiian salad.
I don't know. What is the
pretty great.
definition of favorite food? Because that's that thing. Either or.
Favorite drink.
Favorite. If I had to choose
Cream
any
soda
food over anything else, it would just be well done steak. and then similarly with a drink, I don't drink a lot of stuff, so it would just be like
iced tea,
milk.
I'd say a like hibachi lobster tail with the egg yolk and garlic.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. That'd be that's not an everyday thing, but that's awesome.
But would you eat it every day?
Probably. I don't know. And then it's also paired with that great chicken fried rice that they put in that bowl. So good. And cream soda. Yeah, I guess cream soda is good. Or like, cream soda. Cream soda's good. I'll go with the cream soda. Lieutenant, you saying, interesting. I think he's trying to build us in Sims. That's what he's probably doing there. Thank you for the super chat.
You're doing the Sims characterization thing right there. Note that I'm not that interested at looking at those lawn flamingos.
Yeah.
So you could kind of lower the slider on that.
Yeah, you don't want to
stand there looking at those flamingos all the time.
Yeah, we made some Sims characters one time, and I made this was during my Mr. T phase. So I made Mr. T, of course.
Yeah.
And then he had some sort of affinity for staring at the pink flamingos outside the house
on the lawn.
And did he die doing that?
Yes.
So he enjoyed it so much he wouldn't eat, and he died doing what he loved best, which was staring at those pink flamingos.
Did you see, this is a Mr. T topic. You could go on Twitter, and he had made a post about him getting his flu shot and his vaccine for COVID.
Okay.
Because he's one of those guys. And then Chad Townsend said that he met him at a Comic-Con one time, and then Mr. T came over and put his arm around him. And then some guy under Chad's comment said that he was supposed to meet Mr. T at a mall one time, but then he kept telling himself, I'll go a little bit later, and go a little bit later,
and
go a little later. And then eventually when he went there, he was gone. And when he asked the security guard if Mr. T was ever going to come back, he said he didn't know.
God, that's sad.
Yeah, I completely relate as never having met Mr. T.
Yeah, I've never met him either. Apparently, our dad saw him downtown driving in a convertible Cadillac.
I think it was a Rolls Royce.
That's all the same.
Yeah.
Mr. T pity the fool that wait too long.
Let's see. Chad says everyone was being so rude to Mr. T. I thought I would tell him something nice. Well, yeah, he was raging for the machine on Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter.
So Chad came in with a little like, here's a cold compress, Mr. T. Take it easy.
So that's brings us to the next topic: cold compress. All right, or warm compress, right?
Uh-huh. Is this the narwhal stream that they were talking about earlier? Because the difference of does warm water taste different than cold water?
Did they say
I feel
that?
like that's a really lame topic for a stream.
No, this one's better. It's why do people call it cold compresses when the word is compress? Wouldn't you call it cold or warm compress?
Yeah, but it compresses an action.
It's the same word.
Yeah, but a compress is then the noun of the here is the cold compress.
Yeah, but what
You're about to get murdered?
What signifies that? You got your gat, right?
Yeah,
I got my knife too.
Live stream.
Live stream murder. I got my 7-inch knife on me. So we're gonna put in the chat a poll on if it's cold compress
How do you pronounce
or cold compress?
And then it says compress and compress.
Which makes sense?
Texas, a compress can
Cold
be icy
compress
or hot. Compress, says Alex BRB.
Or warm compress. But how?
Yeah, perfect.
How says it? All right. What?
It's making no sense. You have to do it how they're doing it in the chat, where com is.
Okay, capitalize. All right, I got you, chat. Thank you. Compress or compress. Would the press be capped then?
No, it's just compress.
Okay.
It's the word. Compress.
All right, there you go. You guys vote. It bothers me anytime someone says it. Justify me. People saying compress.
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 Cold compress.
So I think this is a better topic than the warm and hot water thing you were talking about.
Well, that was a narwhal stream.
Yeah, there you go. Cold calm press.
Yeah, I said that.
Chad said it. So where do we stand? Final topic of the IP overload.
I think if your company can do it, if you have a Disney amounts of money, you can get away with it. As long as you don't hire SJW writers.
I just got a text saying Mr. T was driving in a white Rolls Royce convertible.
Good information.
Yeah, I would say if you could do it, do it. But my thing is not a lot of people could do it.
Well, you can't do it, but then you shouldn't also alienate IPs that people really want unless you're going to end the series.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so many people wanted a sequel to that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
That's not true. You did Dread. Let's use Dread as an example because it's an actual example.
And
everyone wants a Dread sequel.
They were waiting for him to put on the
blackface so he could be Jon Stewart.
No. They wanted him to have not that stupid Green Lantern suit They had what's the Green Lantern? Which Green Lantern did he play? Forget his name.
Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan. They wanted him to have the regular Hal Jordan suit.
Okay.
And then we never got that because they moved on to I don't know whatever.
Anything else?
Any
Zack
other
Snyder?
DC movie. Yeah, Dredd, of course. But I mean that's a different one because I'm sure the guy who created Dredd or that company wasn't like, I got another idea, let's go do that instead of Dredd.
Yeah.
You know, they just missed the mark on that because Dredd did horribly at the box office because they marketed it as a 3D movie. Nobody wants to go see 3D movies.
The movie's so good, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wasn't there supposed to be a series based on that Dredd universe, right?
Yeah, there were rumors they were going to do a series.
And then that never happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Instead, we got a series based on the John Wick universe.
Did we?
It's in production.
Oh my god.
Continental's named after
That doesn't need to be a series. Alex VRB says Phil is my hero. Brandon is a nice sidekick though.
There's plenty of Brandon fans out there.
People not liking this Green Lantern. How comics
Morbin
time.
Too. It's Morbin time. Right. Never got it. And it looks like we're never ever going to get it because they had to move on.
Did you even see that movie?
Something else. No, I have not because I know that there's not going to be a sequel. And I know I'm going to want the sequel. And why even get my hopes up?
Alan says, don't bite off more than you could chew. Finish storylines that are in demand a la Savage Dragon tonguey face. I think that was being sarcastic there. 2080 Brandon lull.
Well, yeah. I don't think 2000 AD made the Dredd movie, though.
Yeah, I mean, they were probably in partnership, right?
Or, yeah, I'm sure they worked together. Did you hear that they wanted to do, like, a Judge Death right away? I feel like that would have been a huge mistake.
Yeah, I feel like they do a mutant thing with the mutants, like the Angel family or whatever.
Right, getting out of the city.
Maybe get out of the city.
Yeah, I think another in the city, and then you get out of the city.
And then Judge Death?
I don't know. Judge Death is so... It's such a departure from that street-level crime thing.
Though. Yeah, I agree.
And it takes it into wild new territories. And I don't like when they do that.
Dredd flopped in the theater, hence no sequel.
Right. It's because... And I completely blame the fact that they were marketing it as a 3D movie. Dredd 3D.
Yeah.
Like, remember when Piranha 3D came out? Nobody went to see that.
Spy Kids 3D.
Spy Kids 3D. Absolute flop.
Stallone was in that.
Right.
Well, they made their money on DVD sales.
Sure. But
they had like such high demand in sales on
producer
after
guys
the
or whoever's going to greenlight the movies. They're idiots.
Dredd was so damn good. Would Morbius be the Red Ranger if it was Morbin time? That's an interesting thought there. Everybody loving Dredd.
Yeah, Dredd is fantastic. Fantastic.
Can't we just get something new and cool?
You know what I was thinking is that since we're not getting anything new and cool,
Anderson was in it.
Some production company should go back, partner up with the original production companies, you know, or whoever owns these titles for these particular movies.
I'm waiting.
And redo the fucking CGI that's in these movies. Like Blade is such a good movie, and the CGI is such garbage, right? And redo the CGI in that movie, re-release it.
Yeah.
People will pay to see it because you get all these dumb young people that are like, oh, CGI looks like garbage. I'm not going to watch that. Hopefully the audio is still working after that. Redo that. I was just watching something else too, and it was an awesome movie. Oh, you pushed something on that thing.
Can you guys hear us? Oh, all right. I accidentally turned down echo.
Oh, well, it was a very, very important part of the.
Yeah.
It was the
I agree.
climax
All right.
of what I was talking about.
You watched The Flash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was the Flash CGI better than
Dude,
the
hold on
Blade
a second.
CGI?
I watched George of the Jungle the other day.
Yeah.
And the CGI
Brendan Fraser
for Shep, the elephant in George of the Jungle, is on par or better than the CGI in the Flash.
Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Man, the Flash CGI was so bad.
Yeah, Maroney's saying the Frost CGI looked bad when it came out too. Right.
The Frost.
What's
that?
Pretty Fatty saying is Brandon's mic on?
Yeah, it should be.
Frost, the guy in Blade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where it's all blood and stuff. Like that would look awesome if they did it right.
Deacon.
Now.
He meant Deacon Frost.
Right. Yeah, you know him as Deacon.
Yeah, I know him as Deacon.
Yeah. Right. Redo that. Like I watched Gone in 60 Seconds. There's a little bit of CGI in there when the car is like flying over, in the Mustang is flying over everything. Redo that.
Yeah.
Did you saw that Asian guy right on YouTube Shorts where he instantly redid the CGI for the
sword from One Piece?
The After Effects on the sword? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how long would it take anybody who's autistic enough and getting paid enough to just redo these scenes?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a studio in Taiwan that's all 14-year-old computer wizards that could just be contracted out to work on this
and
stuff.
Then they just re-release these things on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. We're going to be buying these. Lieutenant Hughes says, I love George's Jungle. Yeah, it's awesome. It was making me feel really bad for Brendan Fraser because he was at peak physical fitness there. And then now he's not. He's like Southern Sheriff physical fitness now. And I was like, man, imagine being that guy and being like, I wouldn't be able to watch the movie.
Yeah, I wonder if a studio could pay him enough to get back into the Mummy fitness, you know?
He wants to do it. He said he wants the paycheck.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, but they should do that. Do another Mummy. Crazy Man in the chat says, if the Lost Pages were going to be a movie, what studio would you go with? I don't know, studios?
Let's go to the list of available film studios. Miramax.
Film Studios.
Right now.
Which is the one where I got a sleep with that fat guy.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Who wants to be jokes by Harvey Weinstein?
Let's see. Film Studios. We got Hedgehog and the Frog, 1975. Never heard of it. This is a film, I guess. There you go. Major Film Studios. We got Universal.
Paramount.
Let me just pull up this image here.
Yeah, there's really only a handful.
Oh, this is a group of images.
Those are the major ones. Here's your major film studios. You could just scroll down to that list.
I got this super zoom, okay? We got to pull it up. This is a video
Miramax.
podcast.
Everybody wants Miramax.
Miramax?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They did all the...
They're not even on this list.
Kevin Smith stuff, yeah.
Yeah, aren't they Weinstein as well? I think they're Weinstein. Troublemaker, they do... That's that Mexican guy who everybody thinks is mean. Rodriguez, right? He is Troublemaker with the big explosion.
Lionsgate reinstituted all of their COVID mandates, though, which I don't want to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going with Lionsgate.
Troublemaker's good, though. Did they not do Sin City? This is going to be live action, right?
Right, but Troublemaker is probably like the production company, right? And then this is...
Yeah, I guess you're right, huh? I don't know how movies work. So we got Universal, Paramount. Who's the one with the chick with the torch? They're not around anymore?
Yeah.
Where she's like this?
No, that was Paramount.
Oh, is it? They just changed. They got rid of the woman?
Yeah.
Liberty? Yeah, Troublemaker's Robert Rodriguez.
With the one with the lion. Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
MGM. Yeah, I'd go with MGM. Columbia. Well, so DreamWorks would be not this.
Columbia is the torch lady. Now it's owned by Sony.
Okay. Is DreamWorks a production company or a publisher?
No, yeah, DreamWorks is the production company, I think.
Here you go.
Bad Robot is the production company.
The Big Five: Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Disney, and Sony.
Gordon Gervais is asking, what are we doing? We're wasting a lot of time on a topic.
It's called interacting with the chat.
Ryan Glover asked me if we were open to Magic Cop ever being turned into an animated or live action movie. I told him about how everybody wanted it to be an Adult Swim cartoon.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
And then I told him I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, you said?
Yeah. I was like, my brother thinks that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. We were just talking about that Magic Cop last night because we were talking about point of view on the creative block and how you could tell different stories. You could tell the same story by using different point of view. Like you have something like Magic Cop or Columbo where the audience knows the crime and killer before the protagonists do. And you could tell the same story like in an episode of CSI, which would take the direct opposite approach to storytelling.
What's the benefit from those two angles, right? So like you have the one where the audience is discovering, obviously that's the benefit for the audience. And then you can kind of like, put clues in and stuff. What's the benefit of the audience knowing, but your protagonist not knowing?
So it building tension and suspense between the reader and the situation, or the viewer and the situation. Right. So the reader knows that the protagonist is talking to the killer, but the protagonist doesn't. And
then that's where you're like in the theater, you're like, that's him, that's the guy, get him.
Exactly.
He's right there.
Yeah. So it's that point of view, kind of like I guess dramatic irony as well, where your hero doesn't know who the bad guy is, and it's all about what's related to the reader. And so in the opposite of that, you could have them not knowing, which would make them almost a bigger impact in the end when there's a revelation, like in a mystery. It's like the audience doesn't know who this person is, protagonist doesn't know, but the killer is in the room, someone's the killer. That's where you get that like Bloomin' Onion movie.
Silence of the Lambs.
Glass Onion
is figuring out that guy from Monk is the killer.
Yeah, the captain from Monk.
Right. Or the cop from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, or the brother from that Mickey Rourke movie Bullet.
Was he also a cop?
No, he was like
he's only ever
crazy
a murderer or a cop.
No, in Bullet he was Mickey Rourke's brother who was back from Nam, and he still thought he was like in a war, so he was like always dressed in like camo and super paranoid and had night vision and stuff. It's basically like you. So
we're only saying Die Hard. He's also a cop in Die Hard.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, actually, Narwhal brought that up, the Silence of the Lambs thing. Where
Did he talk about how the guy was a cop?
No,
Fast and Furious.
He didn't.
And Monk.
No, he didn't talk about that.
He's not part of the family.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. All right, what time is it? We got 20 minutes here. We got some other stuff to talk about, which is good. I was tagged in a tweet. So if anybody wants to get me an early Christmas present.
Rain sees Charlie in the tree line. When you go out into the woods and the trees start talking, you tell me he's crazy.
Yeah. That movie's not that great. Bullet. Tupac's in it. Shakur.
Like Steve McQueen Bullet?
No. This is Tupac Bullet.
Oh, it's Bullet, not Bullet.
No, it's Bullet, but Mickey Rourke plays a guy named Bullet who just gets out of prison. He goes to live with his mom and dad again. He's like in his 20s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And his brother is crazy, like ex-Nam veteran. And then, so he gets wrapped up in this gang. Long story short, Tupac kills Mickey Rourke. Spoilers.
Yeah. Usually it's the other way around.
Right. Tupac kills him, like shoots him with a MAC-10 or whatever. And then at the end, the last scene is Tupac going up to like his gang hideout. He's like going to unlock the door. And then you see a rope fall behind him. And then this guy in full spook outfit drop down the rope and then comes up and knifes him, cuts his throat. And he takes off the mask and it's his brother. He's like, it's all about family. And that's how it ends.
All right.
It's the only good part of the movie.
I know you watched it because Mickey Rourke was in it.
It's the only reason.
Yeah.
51 people in the chat now. Most we've had all stream. Thank you guys for being here.
We started with 50. We've made it to 51.
Yeah. If you're going to watch one Mickey Rourke movie, go watch Angel Heart. Don't watch Bullet. Anyways, check this out. Mezco is coming out with a mask toy, which I just spent like $70 on a custom mask toy.
Yeah. You just played yourself.
I just played myself. But it was worth it. It's on my microphone. If this
Sim City, Crazy Bad's right. It's better than Angel Heart.
Sim City?
Yeah. You didn't ever see Mickey Rourke in
Sim City? No. Yeah, watch Sin City as well. If you haven't seen Angel Heart, watch that. Because everybody's seen Sin City.
I saw The Wrestler.
You didn't see Wrestler? Wrestler's good. Wrestler
enough naked.
9.5 weeks is good as well. It's not like crazy good. Who?
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei is naked, topless in that. She's a stripper. 9.5 weeks is good. Wow, why can't I go to this?
Who has a better nude scene? Is it The Wrestler or is it 9.5 weeks?
9.5
or Angel Heart.
So there's nudity in that too.
Or Sin City.
Yeah, there's a lot of nudity in these movies.
He has it in his contract.
9.5 weeks has a better sexy scene. But The Wrestler is a better story.
Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man.
Oh my god, that might be the best one.
Better Baldwin family movie that Mickey Rourke is also in.
It's got to be Marlboro Man, yeah. But people haven't seen Angel Heart, so everybody go watch Angel Heart.
Like contention. Moromi saying Marissa is better. Crazy Mad saying Alba as stripper is great. Iron Man 2, yeah, there was a deleted scene where Mickey Rourke was with some naked chick.
He bangs that bird. The bird. Give it the bird. Why can't I? Mezco. We got another super chat here from Lieutenant Hughes. It says, who's your favorite Lost Pages character? I like all this Lost Pages talk.
It's almost as if
we created
enjoying reading the book.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Oh, I just got some pages too. I'll have to show you guys. I'm trying to find this mask thing. I don't know. It changes from who I'm writing. I don't know. Who's your favorite Lost Pages character?
I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff that's. I mean, of the characters that are fleshed out, I guess, is who we'd have to pull from, right? I mean, I really like the Silhouette. He's a really awesome character. I mean, we've seen a lot of him, in our tenure on working on the Silhouette, right?
Yeah.
So he's had a lot of growth and development since then. But there's a lot of cool characters that I want to get out as well from the Lost Pages that we haven't shown off so much of. Pianist is super cool, obviously.
We were just having a conversation with our buddy. What do you call him, our buddy?
This guy we know.
This guy.
When I say I'm talking to people in Spanish, I always say compañeros. So
yeah, our
compas. Not my friends, but it's like people that I know and deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our compa, Craig, we were telling him about the Pianist story, and just talking about that was like getting me excited about the character and storyline, because it's a fun plot and kind of twist on the kind of female femme fatale assassin. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but there's so many cool characters and storylines that could be done in there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say my least favorite one is probably Vane.
Yeah, Bane. Well, he's the most recently created one, I would say.
I feel like he was made on purpose.
Yeah, you think it insists upon itself?
I feel like it's derivative.
Yeah, it could be. Mine might be the Masquerade, just because he's so integral to the story, and there's so many stories I want to tell with the character, and it's kind of pretty unique in his, I don't know, origin, and very much so not seeing a lot of that type of character coming out. But I'm sure that'll change once I start writing the next one. It's very fun stuff. The next one's going to be all about wild cards, so I'm excited about that one. Thank you for the super chat, Lieutenant Hughes. Thank you. Here's a bonk for you. Have another bonk. Yeah, we got to do that. Thank you. Oh, and speaking of the Lost Pages, we got Shelby Robertson in the chat who did some awesome Lost Pages art. If you guys get the Simon Bisley cover for the Lost Pages 3, you'll get his badass back cover. Let me see if I could grab this. And we are past 40,000, guys. Thank you guys so much for making that happen. Everybody, that means everybody is going to get the Kenneth Rocafort playing card. Let me see here. There it is. Kenneth Rocafort playing card. That is so sick. Thank you guys for getting us there. And if you guys haven't backed, now is the perfect time. I'm going to show you guys the beautiful cover by Dan Dahl. It's got all of our characters that are going to be in here represented on the cover. Here's the Simon Bisley cover and the beautiful back cover by Shelby Robertson himself. So sweet. A little homage to Lobo there.
I got notification on my watch from Instagram, from this other Instagram page that just shared out a video of myself from when I was at Exotica Chicago.
Yeah.
It was that Hourglass podcast.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I think that might be Ryan Glover.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because
that's cool.
Shot on there. And that page followed me from before, so maybe that's where he knows me from.
Well, now we know who Ryan Glover is.
And that's how he knows what Exotica is.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I guess the goal we're trying to get here is, I think our last campaign, CG Vacation, was like at $40,000 and like $75. So if we could beat that, then it'll be our highest funded project. And then I think we need like 560 backers to beat CG Vacation.
Shelby wants, his goal is to make that back cover the front cover.
Yeah, see, he started this hashtag, let's make that back cover the front cover.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see that, you go on and get that trending on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it.
And we get enough people trending it.
And so I put in the update as well, getting a lot of pages in this week, which is so cool. Got new colors in, which I'll show you in a second. But this is a throwback to one of our earliest villains, and he's back. This is actually, you could see him here. His first appearance. See if I can get a close-up on this. He has a new name, though. There he is. And it's our good buddy, Mirko, who's been on the show before. And he's a pyromaniac. He's got badass... Oh, there we go.
Oh, because you kicked.
Because I kicked myself. Screen? Here, we got to do this. God. This is what we should be doing. My bad. So I had this image. So I have this here. So let me get a good zoom in on this.
So happy.
He is so happy. Look at him.
He's not even eating ice cream and he's happy.
He just killed a bunch of little Kremlins and now he's smoking a cigar. He's not going to be happy for long though. But these colors came in so awesome from Eugene. Everything's coming together. Now I have more pages to letter, which is going to be sweet. And yeah, I think we only have like 20 pages left to get through this book and maybe 8 pages left on the People Ashcan. We'll be off to the printers. So this is 82 pages. This is a thick book. If you guys haven't read the previous stuff, we have the collected version on the campaign you guys could get to. That comes in the monster pack. It also comes in the tome. Wow, we sold just 24 tomes by themselves. That's really cool. I didn't realize that. And then the other ones coming in at the monster pack and other subsequent packs. We got the shirts in, so we got a. Did we order the screen yet for this? Or did I not send you that art yet?
No, I need the art.
I got to send Brandon that art still. And
yeah, so if you want that, we have the shirts, and there's a couple of overstock for the shirts. And if you want to order a shirt, it would be good to do it now because once we start producing them, they won't be available for sale anymore.
Yes. Not the Kremlins like the.
Well, no. Yeah. It's the Kremlin because right now it's a real hot take. Because Russia's evil, everybody is playing off of. So you want to get that publicity from
the villains,
those Kremlins.
Noah in the chat saying good job, Phil. I appreciate it, Noah. Always being very positive fellow
good
there.
Job, Phil. Not how are you feeling, Phil?
All right, this is what I wanted to show off. Look at how cool this is. The Mask action figure.
I forgot we were even talking about this.
It's only $112.
Man, that's a steal.
Yeah. But look at how many what comes with it? He comes with a what would you call this? Tiny hand and bomb. Right. You got this patented suit. Bullet.
Hands do look tiny, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, they're regular human hands. He's just got a big head. They call him the big head killer. Did you know that? Look at that. I like that head. That's awesome. Bullet hole in the head. Look at that gun. That's great. You're really buying this for the accessories.
This guy who was doing the homebrew version of it's going to lose out on a lot of money now.
I know.
Because his suit is cloth.
Yeah, that's where the money's coming from.
Yeah, they have to have tiny people making tiny clothes.
That's great. I thought it came with a pie. I guess it didn't come with a pie. Its prototype is shown though.
And you need a non-refundable deposit required of $28.
I got that.
It's non-refundable. You remember when you pre-ordered that statue and you put down your non-refundable deposit?
Yeah.
And you canceled.
And then I canceled the statue because I wanted to go to Evo to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I probably spent more getting the statue later.
And you lost your non-refundable deposit.
Yep. That's true.
You should be able to move that deposit to another statue.
Yeah, why can't we do layaway anymore?
You can do layaway. Some places still do layaway.
No, they don't. No one does layaway. All right, we got 5 minutes left to the show. We have a death. Oh, a little movie news here. Maybe we should save this for
movie Dread Style.
Save this.
Yeah, release it with only promo about the movie being in 3D. Watches the movie, makes $0 at the box office, but it's fantastic.
I think he means violent and comic based. You get Ryan Gosling to play Stanley Ipkiss.
Yes. Yeah.
He's being nagged by his wife all the time. Right. He can't, his car's in the dump. He's got to take it. You got to get the loaner.
What is Ryan Gosling, though? Would he have a wife? He's a hardcore Sigma male.
Yeah.
So I feel like as a Ryan Gosling character, he wouldn't have a wife.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, in the original The Mask movie, he didn't have a wife. But in the comic, he did.
Yeah. That what drove him crazy?
Yeah. It was his wife. All right, let's see. Before we cut out here, we have a death. I think that's it there. Just making sure. We did look at the Mask action figure, right?
Yeah, we did. He was wearing a blue suit. Not unlike this mysterious lost child from earlier today.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about the detective work he did.
Yeah, they don't like my Detective Diaz stories, so.
I got a new PC. Thanks to YouTube super chatters.
Oh, yeah. So you guys that watch the Hardline streams on Mondays, still streaming from the house, hopefully will notice the stream quality go up and Phil not rubber banding the entire
What
time.
if it doesn't?
Well, then I don't know what would be causing it.
Yeah, well, it's Hardline now.
You have to play in Buzz.
It's Buzz's connection?
Well, he's using his phone or something.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so if you guys are regulars on the Hardline, you'll notice my connection really sucks, but I got a new PC, so hopefully it's going to be great. And
Breaking news, Phil replaced his potato with a PC.
Thank you, Alex. All right, let's go into our death of the week.
It's time for the death of the week.
Death of the week. This guy died. You guys are big Man from U.N.C.L.E. fans.
Yeah, I know. Huge. That's another movie.
Yeah, speaking of
remade
sequel, you need sequels for Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, sequel for sure.
Underrated. Man from U.N.C.L.E. was a great film.
Yeah. Awesome.
And this guy was in it?
No, he was in the show.
Oh, that's right.
He was in the TV show Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, if you guys have a dad out there that watches NCIS a lot.
Everybody in this chat is old, and they all know what Man from U.N.C.L.E. is.
And NCIS?
Yeah, and this guy's name was Ducky.
See, Lieutenant Hughes already says he misses Ducky.
NCIS for some reason.
That's right, it's a bummer. He was a good one. So this guy played the tall Russian in A Man from U.N.C.L.E. Is that true?
Yeah, he must have been Ilya Kuryakin.
Who was later, the role was portrayed by that.
He was played by Armie
cannibal.
Hammer.
Yeah,
the American Armie Hammer.
The American
and
cannibal.
The American spy was played by the British Henry Cavill.
Yeah, good film though.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome movie. That's one of those movies that anytime anybody's like, what's that movie that should have gotten sequels that didn't? It's The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, it was good.
Henry Cavill's portrayal of that guy from The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, Uncle.
So good. Yeah, Uncle. So good.
Uncle Man.
But I heard that he just did a screen test or something for Bond.
Yeah,
James
I heard.
Bond.
Yeah.
You ruined the joke.
Didn't know.
James Bond. Yeah, and they said that it did well.
Yeah, I heard that he did well.
Yeah.
Someone also said that what's her name? Stacy Frankenstein died.
Yeah, nobody of note died this week. Grey Wolf Graphics. Didn't you hear my my take earlier?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Nobody of note.
Cranberry Laners with the super chat for $2 says bonk, bonk, bonk. And he has a little hockey stick and fire. Thank you for the super chat. Great to have you in the chat, brother. Where's that bonk for you? We got a good bonk.
Yeah, and as Lieutenant Hughes brings up, the second Dumbledore died.
Yeah,
this week as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wasn't a real big Lord of the Rings fan, but I thought this goes along with death as well.
Was this that Asian guy that shows you how to rearrange the furniture in your house so it's all feng shui?
No, this is that Asian guy. If you guys are getting too old out there, you know, we got some old people in the chat. No judging, but you might want to invest in this in case you're prone to falling down. It also plays Erie. She didn't have one of them.
That would work very well for unexplained brain aneurysms people are having.
Yeah, primarily in Asia. I've seen that.
All over the place now, live on television.
Yeah, I don't think... is it the fall that kills you, or is it the aneurysm?
You do get a lot of head trauma many times because if your head is uncontrollably smashing into the ground.
Didn't they do this in one of those James Bond films? Is it GoldenEye or?
Oh, where they had the
world's not enough, right?
Yeah,
it's like that big foam ball. Yeah,
but it was the airbags, right? Yeah.
Yeah, airbag ball.
Yeah, head trauma.
So there you go.
They had that. They were trying to make that a thing for motorcycles.
For like, was it a suit or the motorcycle would deploy it?
No, it was a vest, and then it would put out like an airbag neck brace.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine the thing misinterpreting a hard stop or a really hard bump on the road?
It just blows,
right? And it just blows up, and then now you're gonna crash.
Yeah, that would suck. All right.
Gordon Gerber is saying, I'm not taking a chance that it doesn't deploy. I would be more worried about it accidentally deploying in the really stupid situation. Say you're walking out of McDonald's, right? And then you ordered yourself 12 large ice waters, right? And you're carrying them all in your drink, your drink holders. So it's 4x4x4. And then your stupid airbag vest blows up and you got ice water all over the place and your clothes are covered in ice water. And you would look quite the fool.
Yeah, and that thing costs $2,000 to reverse the deployment, right?
Well, I'm sure the vest is very, very expensive, and it's clearly a one-time use only.
Well, that's been the show, guys. Another Friday in the bag. Have a great weekend. We're sending you over to Michael Bancroft's stream. They're going to be over. I think Irene's over there as well. So tell them we said hi with a Zaid raid. If you guys haven't backed Lost Pages 3, please do so. And if you need some reading material, go over to zaidcomics.com. I did have an inquiry if we had any Lost Pages 1s that are available for purchase, because I think they're off the site right now. Because
I don't know if there are.
We ran out of the reprint cover.
I think we ran out of
all of them.
Everything, yeah.
We might, yeah.
Imagine if we had to do a third printing of the Lost Pages one. That would be crazy.
Well, we're that's why we're doing the collected version,
right?
So it's got it in there.
But people want the comic.
The comic, yeah. Well, right now, yeah, and colored too. So we'll have to. I'll have to check with that. But we do have CG Vacations up there. If you guys haven't had those, Magic Cop 1 and 2, and our Magic Cop Ash Can. So check those out, and we'll see you Monday. Hopefully, my internet doesn't suck. Have a great rest of your weekend,
dude. This guy, he's got, what is it now? 3070. No, it's a 7030 Ti graphics card. He's got some crazy AMD.
Dude, I was playing Mortal Kombat last night and it was lagging on the computer. It might have been the other guy's connection, but
maybe it was the other guy's connection or something like that. But if you need more RAM, we have those RAM sticks now.
Already, you can put Photoshop on there too. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Tell Bancroft we said hi, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
You come out here and try to get the sympathy of the people, but you don't get my sympathy at all.
Connor, I know the media has a ton of questions for you, so I just want to ask you, what do you think of this turnout?
Yeah, fuck the Diaz brothers, yeah? Fuck those cockroaches!
Fill it in a few different times just to kind of get a real deep color. And then kind of go in here at the bottom.
Threat is part of wrestling, you know? But you gotta look at the person that's making the threats. This fat son of a bitch is challenging all of us, has been world champions before, been in this business 15, 20 years, and this fat son of a bitch is gonna trial us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat! I'm gonna...
Down about this.
I don't care if he don't... I'll make him bleed.
CG.
Hey now.
Look what I got. Can I just say, what the Diaz brothers have put together on this package, it's spectacular. Really, they deserve all the praise that they're getting. The print quality, the variety of things I got. Their offering exemplifies what I think Comicsgate project should be in terms of what you're getting. What do we see? So we say like premium quality stuff. Phil and Brandon. Bookmark. This is very impressive. Mel looked through all of this and she was blown away by the quality. Like, I was wondering, was it worth printing on red paper? It was, yes, it was. It's just the cover, but yeah, it really is different. It really, you can tell it's white and black print on red paper. And look at these interiors, cards. And then I got both of these cards. I got the silver, which is...
This kid's definitely on crack right now.
Yeah,